Næturinn All right, good morning. We are live. It's 8:30 a.m. on the 7th of December, and we are playing D&D. We are in session 9 of Raiders of the Serpent Seas, titled, "Oh Captain, My Captain," because of the stuff that transpired at the end of last week. But we will do a recap first. If Navala is here to give her quote-unquote recollection of the correct way things went.
Of course. Can everyone hear me well?
Yeah.
The following text is recovered from an old journal of the late Archmage Navala the Drow. Though it is questioned as a reputable source, it is nevertheless popular on the scholars for cross-referencing events with other sources, such as the scriptures of Calico. It reads as follows. We made our way to the feast and agreed that we would get everyone good and drunk before challenging Had to a drinking contest and shaming him in front of his crew. Laurel asked us to ask around for the Varang who had destroyed her clan. Once we headed outside, the sacrifices began. A few thralls had their throats slit, and I swear I saw worry in the eyes of the softer members of our group. The gods always demanded sacrifice, and they gave little in return. When the feast finally started, we began with our agreed tasks. Naturally, the rest of the party failed to keep to the plan, and I alone bothered to follow it. The others stuffed themselves with food and played games of axe throwing and whatever else got their attention. If they would not help, then I would make my own entertainment with these men. I set two of them to beating each other, and I must admit it was quite enjoyable to watch. After a time, I noticed Evan making trouble with Lurks, taunting her for some fool reason and ruining our chances to sail with her. I wondered what dust and moss filled his skull to make him act with such idiocy. At times Evan seemed competent, and at other times he baffles me with his stupidity. Once I had the feast-goers well and drunk. Grim climbed on the table and told all of nowhere a tale of our adventures with music to go with it. Did I think she told it as well as I would have? Of course not, but she made a fair effort, and I admit I even danced to a song or two. At last, with the hall in full fervor, Calico tried to challenge Had to a drinking contest. He floundered, and no matter how much he mocked Had's honor, the captain refused to take the bait. A dragonborn named Asvard arrived, however, and joined Had in the exchange. I slipped a few sharp truths about the whole ordeal myself, and Had turned red with rage and shame. It was delightful. Asvard taunted us, and even claimed, foolishly, that he had slain Laurel's family and buried his axe in her parents himself, revealing himself to be the very Varang that Laurel told us to look out for. That decided it, and the fight began. For some strange reason, the others thought it was wise to try and subdue Had and his cronies without killing them. They did not know that Had already sealed his fate when he spat his filthy opinion of me. It was only a matter of time before I laid hands on him. It was a fierce battle, though I saw little of the grand heroics the group liked to boast about. Laurel ran for her life and clung to the space behind me, whilst the rest of the party fell with barely a whimper. Naturally, my efforts to drag them back from the brink went entirely unnoticed. Through our combined strength, we managed to bring down Asvar the Dragonborn. They forgot to finish him, so I drew my dagger and leaned in to end the job, but it seemed they wanted him alive. Grim even went so far as to heal him. I understand wanting information, but there was no harm in letting him suffer first. After most of the party had been struck down, that barbarian Had chased me across the street and swung at me whilst whispering in my ear that he wanted to claim me for himself. That worm would be lucky to even dream of such a thing. He knocked me unconscious for a moment, and when I stood again, I found that the fight was over, and they had chosen to spare his miserable life. I could not let the insult stand. I slapped him awake and pressed hard on his wounds, watched his eyes flick open and smiled and whispered, "What did you call me again?" Then I drove my blade into his heart. One less fool to bother me. Calico climbed onto the table and tried to convince Had's crew to follow him as their new captain, but half of them walked away on the spot. The rest insisted Laurel should lead them, as she had slain their previous captain. Calico tried to sway them with talk of his goddess, but they had no interest. They demanded half the loot and as many wenches as they pleased if he were to lead. The argument went nowhere, so we left the matter for later. Meanwhile, Laurel questioned the man who had destroyed her clan. In exchange for sparing him, he confessed he had been paid to kill her family. At carving out her tongue, but instead pitied the lack of creativity in her crass insults. And besides, we had somewhat more important matters to focus on now. At Calico's insistence, we headed for the tavern to speak in private. And below the pages of the journal, a few addendums have been added, small little details of what Navala might have skipped. Evan, Hulda, and Laurel won an axe throwing contest against Lurks and her crew. Lurks offered a magical compass called the Seeker's Compass, but the group could not settle on the terms of the bet. Evan brought Hulda a handful of ironwood shavings as an apology, and the smell reminds her of home. Seethe, the child, worked magic on Evan's bow and left it enchanted. Grim brought the berserker back with a goodberry, and the two ended up on friendly terms. And Calico loudly insisted the party that he be named captain, for it was written as his fate. And that's a recap.
Fuck yeah!
Does Grim the 12th have anything to add to that? All right. Cool. So we are, I believe we ended with heading...
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I'm gonna have to... Something's weird with my fantasy grounds, and it might have to do with my internet, so I'm just letting you know. If you'll see me log in and out.
Okay. Did you have anything to add to what Navala ended with?
Not through the recap.
Okay. Cool. So I believe we ended with the party heading back into the inn to have a conversation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and as they are walking there, Navala will approach Calico and whisper something to him.
And I would nod back to you as you see my hair sticking out, and I'm trying to force it back down a little bit.
She whispers that. I meant to send it in a whisper, but I mistyped.
Yeah, right. And I nod at you in affirmative.
Okay.
And I will say, and I will whisper to you, you shall see what I have to say, but this term is acceptable.
All right, so we make our way back into the inn. We are starting to head upstairs, and I believe Grim wanted to do something before this all kicked off.
Right, well, are we heading upstairs to our rooms? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, we are back in the inn.
Okay, so we're not going to talk downstairs. Are we going upstairs?
No, we were going to go to somebody's room to talk.
Oh, well, anyway, you see Grim, and she is definitely tipsy. And she is following her in, holding hands with her is the Berserker. And she is, you might have mentioned to her anymore.
Hang on, I lost service for a second. Should be back up. Yeah, it's back up now.
So anyway, she is saying, Yeah, there was more food there than I've ever seen before in my life. Then I performed, and then we had a fight. And then I almost went to Valhalla if it were not for this kind gentleman not killing me, and for Calico for reviving me. So I'm in no state to be talking about important things. So I will see you all in the morning. And she grabs the berserker by the braided beard, and she kisses him hard, and she said, so you said that you don't want to sail under the dwarf, but you'd rather sail under me. Well, let's raise your mast together, shall we? And she goes into the door. Her room slams.
I would stop her before.
So
The tables never went down for me.
Yeah, everyone's on there
The
except for
tables
you.
Oh, really? Maybe it's my stupid goddamn.
Well, I'm also having like little connectivity issues, but it still hasn't dropped fully.
No, I can get on my internet.
Completely,
My
like,
internet's working fine.
do you have completely close out Fantasy Grounds if you still have it up?
Okay, let me try this again.
Grim's getting spicy. No, it's me. I might actually. Well, I shouldn't have to restart.
Are you going to try and force Grim and a barbarian to attend? With the berserker?
Well, I would at least want to talk to her before she goes to bed.
You know.
She's pretty
try
drunk.
not to start a fight. Try not to start a fight.
How is she able to fight if she's that drunk? I don't understand how she gets so smashed so quickly.
Smashed. We've been at a feast for how many hours?
But you were able to fight.
Yeah, but she might have been drinking afterwards with the berserker, and she has a cup of meat in her hand.
But there was no time afterwards. We finished the fight and literally came inside.
Well, it's been a few hours, so.
Oh, we stayed outside after we said we were going in? I thought we were going in.
But maybe she can fight while she's tipsy. I mean,
well, yeah,
this is Raider culture, like half the Vikings is dead.
It's like she must have been
This
smashed
is weird.
during the fight.
She's probably downed a big thing of meat, is what I'm saying, is in between.
Plus, like walking back, you know, since you're still outside, the feast was still going on. You just like swiped a glass or two as you're walking back, and it slammed him. I don't know.
Yeah, are you kidding? That's what she did. She's like freaking happy to be alive.
Plus, if we looked at the battle, she was like taunting people to their face, so maybe she was actually drunk.
Yeah, could be.
She was like, "Come and get me." So makes sense to me.
Anyway, so she's trying to go in her room. So what do you want, Ingorgio?
Hearing that and hearing Calico try to do something, the berserker will get as tall up as he can, and will stare down at the little dwarf. Don't get in the way between me and my mast.
I'm ignoring him and I'm trying to talk to Grim. Are you sure, Grim? You seem to be a little bit intoxicated.
She said, I'm fine. And there's nothing that we can't talk about in the morning. I mean, it's not like we're going to make a decision tonight and then suddenly you're going to go out right now, right?
This is true.
Okay, great. I'm glad you agree with me. She goes into the door, slams the door with the berserker, and you heard the door lock behind her.
And Navala rolls her eyes and says, "And she called me easy not just 5 minutes ago."
Calico stalks to his room to sleep and brood.
No, I wish I had brought some company, and Navala will go to her room. And later on, she will meet Hilda there, I suppose.
Yeah, you want to play that out with since we're the stream.
I mean, I guess I can read the little RP story that we made.
Yeah.
If no one else wants to do anything before.
Well, we know what Grim and the Berserker is doing. I think the whole Bloody Inn knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that guy was strong. All right. Yeah, well, night settled over the estate after a day that had lurched between celebration and chaos. The last arguments in the hall had finally cooled, and whatever strange tangle lay between Calico, Laurel, and the man they had been interrogating had been sorted through enough for the group to drift to their rooms, and Grim with company. When the corridors had grown quiet, or perhaps not so quiet, Hulda crept towards the door of Navala's private chambers. She paused just before the carved wood, gathered her courage, and tapped 4 times. They were barely knocks at all, more like nervous touches. The door opened a moment later. Navala stood framed in the dim lantern light, dressed in a low-cut gown that shimmered like spider silk. One hand casually rested upon the doorframe, while the other remained hidden behind her back. Her crimson eyes narrowed in suspicion at first, but softened when she saw her visitor. "Ah, Hulda, come inside." She stepped back to allow the Ratkin in. As Hulda crossed the threshold, she saw Navala place something on a nearby table. It was a long, slender knife with a cruel design, worked in polished metal, the entire shape reminiscent of a spider's fang. "Sit," Navala said, motioning towards one of the chairs. Hulda obeyed, trying not to stare at the blade. She released the breath she had not realized she was holding. "I have a favor to ask," she blurted, unable to weave a gentler approach. Navala said nothing at first. Instead, she picked up 2 smooth lodestones and pressed them against a tear in her gown. A soft glow rose between the stones, and the fabric mended itself as if it had never been damaged. So that was how she kept her garments flawless, no matter what the day demanded of her. "A favor," Navala mused. "Favors come at a price. But I like you, Hulda."
Should be okay again. Yeah, we're good, sorry.
"When I went into the prison as a spider, I made a bargain with Sven. He gave me information, and in return I promised I would help him get out. And until the very end, he was kind to me. I want to repay that kindness, but I do not know how. You always seem to know how to get men to do what you want. I was hoping you could teach me, or help me. I am not good at this sort of thing." Her palms were damp, and she pressed them flat against her legs, praying Navala would not notice. Navala very nearly smiled. She had already decided that Sven's freedom would benefit her. But if Hulda ended up indebted to her in the process, so much the better. "Men are simple creatures," she said, tapping her temple with a single painted nail. "They think with this. And then there is the other mind." She gestured downward with lazy confidence. "Once the lower one wakes up, the upper one loses all control. After that, they will do whatever you desire." She let that linger before she continued. "But the matter of Sven needs a different approach. It is not the setting for lessons. How about I handle it myself? I will see to it that he is freed. In exchange, you owe me a favor." Hulda's relief was immediate and bright. "Yes, I can owe you one. Thank you. And thank you for being willing to teach me. Most think I am hopeless at this." Navala waved the concern away. "Leave Sven to me. You should begin with something small. Perhaps a meeting in a tavern. Something simple. Of course you'll need the proper clothes. Men care only for what their eyes see. Buy yourself a dress, a real one. Something human." Hulda pictured herself in such a garment, only for the image to shift, until she was once again staring at Navala's elegance instead of her own. She blinked the thought aside. "I will ask Grim to shop with me. Thank you again." She rose awkwardly, uncertain whether she ought to hug the woman, and wisely decided against it. Instead, she extended her hand with sudden resolve. "I agree to your terms. I will look for a dress, and thank you for helping with Sven. Tell him I said hello." Nuala gazed at the ratkin with a smile. Yes, Hulda had recognized the value in her manipulations of men, unlike Grim. She was intelligent and willing to learn. She could be a most useful asset to the drow. She took the Beastborn's hand in her own and shook it, marveling at how much it felt like shaking a large rat's paw. Then again, that was what she was shaking. Oh, and buy a cum as well. Anything else, dear? No, that is all, thank you, Hulda said, flustered and grateful all at once. Hulda left the room with her thoughts spinning. Navala was truly going to help her, and more than that, she was willing to teach her. Fate had a strange sense of humor. Hulda could already imagine telling Mudda everything the next time she found her. She had made friends here. Real friends. Mudda would be so proud.
I can see Navala becoming a madam. This is the beginning.
The beginning.
Would she do that to poor Hulda?
Yes. Does it further Navala's interests? Then yes. All right. Before pushing a long rest, was there anything anyone else wanted to do?
I'll just mention that I'll be casting Goodberry when I go to my room.
Okay. Anything from Grim? Or not Grim, Evan?
No, Evan's just gonna go retire for the night.
All right. Let's do this. Bam, 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 bam. Does anyone want to play Hulda?
I thought Navala was doing that.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. Her token is released.
I'll keep her a bit to the background because I don't want to like fully RP for her because that's her character to
Right.
make. But
just in
if it
case
comes to any combat or something.
Have you already? Before you do that, let me just talk to you. Can you roll a performance for the Berserker?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Oh, why didn't I say? Oh, no.
Not for me, for the Berserker.
Yeah, give me a second. I gotta find the token now. There you are. You are here. Of course, you are here.
I'm having so much fun playing not Arcadia.
Performance would be a charisma. Let's do it. A 10. So not bad, not good.
Average at best.
Okay. If it were really higher, I would have told you to not push a long rest for me, but I think she'll get one.
Yeah, not bad, not horrible. Alright, let's do rest.
He was mostly dead part of the day.
True. He did get his shit kicked in.
Grim is waking up as a musician hopeful. I'm declaring that.
Awesome. Alright, long rest is complete. The Berserker leans over and another one?
Sure.
Excellent.